behind us, I heard some like,
Yeah.
I heard some like, what is she doing? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a kinky thing. Yeah.
She likes that.
She likes it.
Initiating weekly entertainment brought to you by Extra Rad. Boys Meet Film will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy.
Hi, welcome to Boys Meet Film. My name is Michael Schnee. I'm your host. This is Max Newhan with me, one of the boys. Today, we're going to be talking about Babygirl, directed by Helena Rain. At least I think that's how you say her name. She previously worked on, she was the director for Bodies, 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 which was actually my top 10 of the year that it came out. Very fun film. And it stars Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson. And before we get into that, Max and I are going to talk about the 5 most anticipated movies of the year for both of us.
For 2025?
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and start us off?
All right, I'll start us off. I'll just run through my list, I think.
Okay. What do you have at number 5?
Okay, number 5 for me is Tron Ares.
Cannot wait for this movie.
Very excited about it. I don't know much about it, actually.
Me either.
I just know that there's another Tron, and that's awesome. And that Red had some like custom VistaVision cameras made for it that say Tron on them. Some V Raptors.
Whoa.
So that's cool. And then you had some cool facts about the soundtrack.
Well, just Trent Reznor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm obviously bummed that Daft Punk isn't scoring it again, but it's pretty unrealistic cool. Given their status in the industry. Yeah. So to have Trent Reznor, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what he brings to the story. I think it's going to be very different from having Daft Punk, but it's going to be equally as impactful and interesting. Yeah. So, definitely. I mean, we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, definitely. My number 4 is Ballerina.
Okay.
I love the John Wick series, and I think the spinoff is cool. And I really liked Ana de Armas in No Time to Die, or what is it? What is the one?
What was the latest Bond movie?
Is it No Time to Die? Is that the one she's in?
I think it is. I'll make sure.
Yeah. But. Okay. Well, I liked her in the Bond movie. And I thought her action was actually really good, and I am stoked to see what they do with it. I don't know about the story or anything, but I'm stoked to see some cool action.
I've never. Well, okay. I like the John Wick movies. I've never been a huge advocate for them, but John Wick 4 was such a good movie. That one stood on its own legs, and I feel like, what was the director's name again?
David Leitch.
David Leitch really like found what he was trying to say with that character. Yeah. So I'm coming into Ballerina with some pretty high hopes and expectations.
Yeah, me too. I hope it's not just a throwaway.
Yeah.
Because I think John Wick 1 is like, just from where I'm at in my filmmaking career, it feels very attainable because it just felt so grounded, and there's not like, I mean, there's months and months of training and practice to get to the stunts to that level, but it just feels like something that we could accomplish.
Yeah.
In the best way, not in a cheap way, just like very grounded, very just a very simple premise and lots of prep. And that's just something I'm super into. And then 4 was just a whole other level.
Yeah.
Way, like, so many cool camera techniques, and the cinematography was beautiful, and that one felt very out of reach currently for me as a filmmaker. But I loved it. It was fantastic. So
as a writer, I really felt like 4, like, the characters were actually they had some substance to them, and they weren't just throwaway, like, oh, let me just pop this guy in the head.
Definitely.
There's some weight to like every fight scene.
Absolutely.
I hope he brings that into Ballerina as well.
Me too, man. My number 3 is Mickey 17.
Oh
I
Bastard.
I know you wanted to have that. You wanted to have
list.
that one on your list. Bong Joon-ho.
Yep.
Joon-ho.
Yeah.
Directed that. Who also did Parasite, and there's another movie that you were talking about.
The Host.
Yeah.
Oakjaw.
Yeah.
Memories of a Murder. So many good movies.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
So good.
I also have a huge man crush on Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see 17 different versions of him. Maybe more.
Yeah, I guess maybe more. I guess it's just a theory, but I feel like 17 is the one who wants to stick around.
Yeah.
Just based off the trailers that I've seen so far. But yeah, I'm very interested in that movie. I love the vibe that he brings to all of his films.
It looks the other one's Snowpiercer that he directed.
Yeah.
It looks more in line with like a Snowpiercer rather than a Parasite.
Right.
Which I'm fine with. It just looks like it's like gonna be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of worried because it was slated to come out early this year, but the fact that they bumped it up to April to me is a sign that it's going to be a real kick-ass film.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that film.
Hell yeah. Yeah, my number 2 is F1. I am super excited to see a F1 movie. I'm really into motorsports.
Yeah.
So that's been my whole life. That's how I got into filmmaking, was filming cars.
Yeah.
And racing is a huge part of my life. So and I've gotten to go to a couple F1 races, and it's awesome. So I'm super curious to see how they capture that.
Yeah.
The director, pause for the director's name.
I know we really
should have done that. Yeah.
Please subscribe and help us with views so we can get a producer.
F1 movie. So we can cut this out. The director, Joseph Kosinski, he also did Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, okay.
And I think they did, it looks like they took a lot of like the camera techniques that they used for mounted shots for the jets, and kind of are doing the same thing with Formula One. Because Formula One, those cars are basically spaceships.
Yeah.
So I'm just very excited to see. I'm so into mounted shots on moving vehicles. I love the look and feel that a mounted shot gives you, especially when it's locked to the car. Because one thing that film is not good at portraying is like motion or scale in a vehicle, because a lot of times it's stabilized and you get like, kind of like a weird jello-y thing. But when the camera is like locked to the car, you feel a lot more of like what the car's actually doing. And I'm super excited about that. So
yeah, I agree. Mounted car shots. If I see one in a trailer, I'm like immediately okay.
yeah, so cool.
No, that movie sounds badass, and Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah, Brad Pitt. And I can't remember his co-star's name.
Okay.
But yeah, just through watching F1, they actually added them to the grid. Like, so during F1 races this year, like they were the 10th or the 11th team.
No way.
Yeah, just like they obviously didn't compete in any of the races, but they were like on the paddock. So like you can see like while they were doing like driver interviews, like Brad Pitt, they were filming Brad Pitt's scenes with like the other drivers in the background.
Whoa,
I thought it was sick.
That is sick.
So they were like immersed in the world. So I'm hoping that allows them to tell a very a lot of movies embellish racing in a incorrect way, and so I'm hoping that they actually get it correct with some sources. I know you have to spectacle it up a little bit, but I think I'm very excited about it.
Hell yeah.
And then my number 1 that I'm most excited about is Superman.
Really?
Superman.
Number one.
I am a huge Superman fan.
Okay.
He's my favorite superhero for sure. From the Christopher Reeves Superman era, my dad was super into that.
Okay.
So I grew up with Christopher Reeves as Superman. I did like Superman Returns. I liked aspects of that film. And parts of the Zack Snyder Superman Man of Steel I thought were fun. It's not exactly the Superman I was looking for, and based off the trailer that James Gunn just put out, I'm looking forward to it. I have hope for this movie. I'm not super into the giant kaiju dragon things. I want a more grounded Superman story because he is a human. Like, he has such a good human element to his character. And I think that like him and Lex Luthor are like, that's the cool. It's like a human going against a god. Yeah. You know, I want to see that. I don't care about the CG monsters. Yeah. I'm into like the character story. So
I agree. I'm hoping that the CG monsters are kind of there in the beginning just to give us some context into who Superman is.
I hope so too.
And then, have the basis of the conflict be with Lex Luthor. Yeah. That was definitely a really interesting trailer. Yeah. I'm really excited that Crypto is going to be.
I know, a first live action Crypto. Yeah. That's so cool.
I know. As soon as I saw the snow.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, that was so cool.
Yeah, that was very cool.
And Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that was also, I think, cool casting. I mean, he looks great in it.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah.
He's picking some pretty awesome parts lately.
Yeah. I mean, him and Nosferatu he was so good in Nosferatu. Yeah. He was really good.
He was.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right.
Yeah, those are mine. What do you got?
That was 5?
That was 5. That was all
Dang.
5.
Well, okay. Number 5, I have The Monkey.
Yeah.
Directed by Oz Perkins. I'm very excited that we get another movie from him soon after Longlegs was released. Longlegs was one of my favorite movies of 2024. So I have high hopes for this one. The trailer looks incredible.
Looks like Final Destination, kind of.
Yeah,
in a really good way.
It was one of the most bizarre trailers I've seen so far for 2025.
Yeah.
But I thought some of the imagery was just really captivating. You know, I'm a little bit afraid that it is slated so early in the year, but I have high hopes.
Why are you afraid that it's slated early in the year? What does that mean?
Well, most studios just kind of like dump, like it's starting to change a little bit, but January used to be regarded as dumpuary,
right?
Which is where like all the studios, any of the projects that they had that they just need to get out, they wait to release those until January. But it's starting to become weird now because the Oscars, there's this shift where a lot of the movies that are going to be nominated for Oscars, or not a lot of them, but there are some movies from 2024 this year that are going to be released to the public with a wide release in 2025.
Okay.
And that's starting to become a more common thing. So January is starting to become a little different. February is still kind of, but then March and April are starting to get like, like Everything Everywhere All at Once, Get Out, starting to be kind of a good time. So I'm hoping that The Monkey is solid.
Yeah.
Number 4, I have the untitled Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and Kendrick Lamar comedy.
What? I don't even know about this.
I know.
That sounds awesome.
I almost didn't put it on the list because it's still so unofficial, but it does say that it's going to be released in 2025. Okay. So I'm a huge fan of South Park, and I'm a huge fan of Kendrick Lamar. And I would love to see Kendrick Lamar collab with them. So
yeah, that's wild.
I don't even know what that would look like.
Yeah, probably a musical.
Probably a musical.
I don't know. I have no idea.
No, you're probably right.
It could be. That could be cool.
Part of me, no hate to Drake fans, but part of me really hopes that it's about Drake.
A whole film, just a whole diss film.
A diss film,
dude. A diss film. People got to do diss films more. I don't think people do that enough.
People don't do enough diss films.
Yeah, well, there needs to be more diss films.
We need more diss films in the world. Number 3, I'm kind of cheating. I have 2 movies.
Okay.
I have The Smashing Machine and Marty Supreme, which I forget who's directing which one. I believe Marty Supreme is directed by Josh Safdie, and then The Smashing Machine is directed by Benny Safdie,
Okay.
but they're no longer collaborating with each other on films.
Wow. A diss film.
Maybe
2 diss films.
2 diss films.
All right.
But they're both supposed to come out this year.
Okay.
Hopefully. That's what it says. But the Smashing Machine has The Rock. It's about an MMA fighter.
Okay.
I forget who it's about, to be quite honest. I don't know that much about MMA. But regardless, I'm super stoked for that. And then Marty Supreme has Timmy Chalamet.
Oh.
And it's about a ping pong player in the 1950s.
All right. Sounds fun.
Yeah, I know.
I like it.
It sounds really interesting. And so I am a huge fan of Uncut Gems, huge fan of Good Time. And it kind of bummed me out when I heard that they're no longer interested in working with each other. But I'm really interested to see what each of them bring to the table by themselves,
right?
You know, and to be able to like see their distinct, styles.
Yeah. Or
out.
they're just both going to be the same.
Yeah.
And then they fall in love again.
Yeah, true.
Brings them back together.
Hopefully, best case scenario, they're just gonna miss working with each other. Okay. Number 2, I have The Battle of Bactan Cross. I don't know if this is the official title for this movie. This movie's had a bunch of names recently.
Yeah.
But this is the latest Paul Thomas Anderson movie with Leo DiCaprio.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds so cool.
PTA, it's, no secret that he's a big film bro, and all the film bros love PTA, and I am one of those film bros.
Yeah, I mean, Punch Drunk Love is on my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So,
same.
Yeah, I'm in.
Punch Drunk Love
PTA
is so good, but I mean, Boogie Nights, The Master. This one is supposedly... people are speculating that it's adapted from a Thomas Pynchon novel called Vineland, which has been regarded as a impossible book to adapt into a movie.
Really?
And that really excites me. What was it? It was Inherent Vice that Paul Thomas Anderson also directed, which is adapted from a Pynchon novel. And it's one of his least regarded films. It's still, it has good ratings or whatever, but it's weird.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Awesome.
It's it has the most like unreliable narrator ever, and the cast is huge. And literally the whole time you're watching the movie, you can't keep up with the plot. And I've never seen a movie do that on purpose,
right?
Yeah. And it's kind of a mind fuck. Like you feel like you're stoned while you're watching it. And I've watched it both stoned and sober.
It felt the same both times.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see the Battle of Bactan Cross, to see if it is a Pynchon adaptation.
Yeah.
But also see Leo DiCaprio in one of his movies, because I don't think they've collaborated yet.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
I like everything you're saying, man, about that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Then at number 1, I have Bugonia, which I also don't know if that's the official title for this movie. I think it is, but it's the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie.
Uh-oh.
Produced by Ari Aster.
Uh-oh. It's
and
gonna
it's
be
an adaptation of a South Korean film.
Uh-oh. Sounds awesome.
Which I've seen.
Oh, okay, cool.
Save the Green Planet.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to find, but very worth looking out for. And it's one of the darkest comedies I've ever seen. It's about this kind of like schizo conspiracy theorist, and he kidnaps. Forget exactly what this person was, because it's been a while. Yeah. But they were some like CEO or something like that. But they kidnapped them because they think that they're a lizard person from space.
Awesome.
And so basically the whole movie, like they're just like torturing them to like get answers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very dark, but very funny. And in a very dry way. When I say very funny, some of you are gonna maybe see that movie and then look at me and think I'm a serial killer, but it's weird. But I'm very excited to see what Yorgos is gonna do with that story.
Yeah.
I forget who's in the cast, but I think Emma Stone is in it. Let's see here.
She's awesome. She's great in Poor Things and Kinds of Kindness.
I'm so excited that she and Yorgos are like collaborating so much.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Especially after both of those projects. That has to like, I mean, it was such a bond, I feel like. A bonding experience for both of those films.
Yeah. Also, The Favorite. Did you ever see The Favorite?
No, actually I didn't. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Okay.
Really good one. Yeah, it has Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons. Oh,
amazing.
Stavros.
What?
Yeah.
Stavros. Stavi's going to be in it?
Which is so perfect.
That's awesome.
Guy's so Greek.
Yeah. He's so Greek.
Alicia Silverstone. Some other people that I don't know. But yeah, I'm so excited for that movie.
That's great.
Yeah. So the one other one that I want to bring up, I don't know if it's going to be released this year.
Bonus round.
Bonus. Eddington, the new Ari Aster movie.
Oh,
with Pedro Pascal
and Joaquin, right?
Joaquin, Austin Butler.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Sick. It's got to be cool.
Yeah, I think Emma Stone too.
What?
Yeah, I know.
How did he get all these people?
I might be pulling that out of my ass.
How do you get all these people to work with you? I guess you just have to be really good at filmmaking, and then everybody wants to work with you.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. Emma Stone, dude. What? Oh, dude. Also, Deidre O'Connell. I think that's how you say her name.
Who is that?
The mom in The Penguin.
Whoa. She was awesome.
Yeah,
she was so
her
good.
in an Ari Aster movie.
Oh no, it's gonna be amazing.
I know.
That's awesome.
Lots of mommy issues. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but
if you've seen Beau is Afraid, you get a great look at who Ari Aster is as a person.
Yeah,
yeah.
So that one's if it comes out this year. But anyways, you want to get talking about Babygirl?
Let's talk about Babygirl, dude.
I'm so ready, dude.
We haven't talked about Babygirl.
I think before we get into the nitty gritty of Babygirl, we have to talk about our theater experience.
Oh yeah. The worst theater experience. Well, okay, maybe not the worst, but the worst view, the worst audience members were sitting right behind us.
The worst woman I've ever seen in my life. Or I didn't really see her, but I heard her the whole time.
The whole time. Constant like every this was the cadence.
Dude, and it was
through the whole movie.
Relentless.
Did not stop.
Not once.
Nope.
Didn't take a break.
Nope. Well, she did take a break when she was talking.
You're right. Sorry.
Immediately when she was talking.
Yeah, the scene. I won't spoil it.
Opening scene. Is that Nicole Kidman?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And that wasn't the only time.
No.
No. The opening scene 3 times. Is that Nicole Kidman? Is that Nicole Kidman?
Not like trying to be quiet.
No.
Full
right
volume.
in my ear.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yes.
And she wasn't talking to me. She was talking to her friend, and her friend kept going, shh.
Yeah.
Shh.
Yeah. Your friend knew what's up, but yeah, she was just so loud. Her phone went off 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah. Full volume too.
Full volume. After the first time my phone goes off in a movie theater, which that never happens.
No.
But
why is that, Michael? Is it because they prompt you 16 times before a movie to silence your phone?
It's not because of that. It's because I'm not a psycho.
Oh, right.
And I just don't have my volume up in general. Right. But for a person like her, I would assume that the 16 warnings about, letting everyone else enjoy the movie and silencing your cell phone would have affected
Yeah, well, she
her,
was trying to
but-
figure out where Nicole Kidman was. It's like, what are these M&Ms on screen?
or who she was. Yeah, in general. We might be making fun of someone with dementia. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be bad. Either way, it was very annoying. She was very annoying.
My favorite part was midway through during a very spicy scene. She just goes, "This movie's boring."
It was with more gumption than that.
Do you have eyes?
Yeah.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? right
Yeah.
now?
Crazy.
Worst person in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody can top how bad of a person she is.
Yeah, that was not the best. I was trying very hard to just tune her out
Yeah.
and pay attention to what this film was, which
I did give her a very polite, or maybe it wasn't that polite, but I did look at her.
yeah.
And then I looked back and I just shook my head. And her response to that was, "I didn't know my cell phone was going to go off again. I don't know why I did that."
Yeah, I remember her saying, "I don't know why I did that."
I'm like, I know why.
Yeah, everyone knows why. Yeah. Well,
Worst person.
yeah, that was frustrating.
Yeah.
But we have not talked since about this movie. And I want to know what your take was.
I've been itching to talk to you about this movie.
I have some notes.
I love this movie
Okay.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really hard for me to contain how much I love this movie. I have always had a huge crush on Nicole Kidman.
Of course.
I don't think it matters how old she'll ever get. I'll always have a crush on her.
Yeah.
I don't know how she maintains that beauty, but
She looks great in this film. She looks fantastic.
Looks gorgeous,
Yeah.
especially for her age, but just in general.
Yeah.
She is amazing. She's also incredible in this movie.
Really good.
Like, I would say top 3 Nicole Kidman performance.
Yeah.
She does some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Not an easy movie to act in.
No. Very complex feelings that she had to portray in this film.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also I loved Harris Dickinson in this movie. I honestly can't even remember anything else that he's been in. I don't know if I've seen anything else that he's been in,
I can't recall it now.
but really commanding presence
Yeah. Yeah.
on camera.
Definitely.
And I just thought he had like really subtle mannerisms that made me laugh
yeah.
a lot, which I thought was interesting
Right.
because he has a very dark character.
Yeah.
But there's just certain little
Yeah.
quirks that he has that I don't know why, but I like him,
Yeah.
but I'm also afraid of him. And I very much kind of felt like I was in Nicole Kidman's shoes while I was watching the film.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you did. You wanted to be that dog.
Look at that dog in me.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I was surprised how normal it was. I was expecting it to get weird,
Yeah.
and not that it doesn't get weird,
I was
but
going to say,
yeah,
I don't know if we saw
well,
the same
okay.
movie.
There's a certain facade that A24 has,
Yeah.
with the movies that they put out, that there's usually like a weird element to it, and I was surprised at how human the story was, and I was
Got you.
in a good way. Like
Yeah.
it was a very, very well done character piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I know what you mean because like a lot of A24 movies, especially the earlier ones, they're left kind of open-ended or the storylines are kind of vague
Yes.
in some areas. But this is a very like streamlined story. You knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah. Very grounded.
Yeah. Very easy to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But like you said, like it was super well done.
Yeah.
I do know that A24 is starting to have more of an emphasis on putting out, I don't know, like if blockbuster is the correct term, but more accessible movies.
Right,
I
yeah.
guess they're starting to focus on bigger budget movies. Like
Yeah.
Civil War was, I think to this date, their most expensive movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. It was a really erotic thriller,
Yeah, definitely.
I think. I love the music in this movie.
Yeah, I did think the soundtrack was very cool.
The like breath. I don't even know what that song is called.
Yeah,
but
it was like moaning almost.
Yeah.
Kind of, and breaths and like
felt very
dogs.
sexual.
Yeah, it felt super sexual.
Yeah, like a dog.
There was some dog panting
something.
or
yeah.
and some growls and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like all the soundtrack songs that they put in there, I thought fit very well.
Yeah.
And kept the pacing going. That was one thing I wanted to bring up is the pacing. It's slow, but it's good. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was paced very well.
I agree. I felt like there's so much tension in just the plot of the story itself.
Yeah.
And like as soon as you get to know her as a character, there's like relentless tension.
Yeah.
Because watching the film, the avenues in which it can end.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I did feel that it was not for me.
Okay.
Like it no,
Totally
not
fair.
not in
Yeah.
a like I didn't like it because I did enjoy it. But it wasn't. I was not the demo. I didn't think.
Okay.
And so at times I was like, there was a few times where I was like, I'm like, this isn't really for me.
There are a few times where, the fact that it was Christmas and
Yeah.
you and I were in the theater sitting
Just
together,
together,
watching
yeah.
it, like, yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah. Well,
That's almost a movie for me that I feel like I'd rather, and this is probably going to sound even weirder, but watch by myself.
Oh yeah.
Not-
Sure.
not like
You'd love
that,
to
not
watch
like
it by
that.
yourself, huh?
No. I just, I can see what you mean. For me, this is very much a movie for me, but I think it was just like from a story, like a screenwriting standpoint.
Right. Yeah.
I just really enjoyed the tension that the story brought.
Yeah.
And I think it's, an achievement when any writer can do that. I liked how simple the story was too.
Yeah. Very simple.
It wasn't flashy. But at the same time, like it was really pleasing to look at, which I thought was interesting too, because there were a lot of shots that were like grainy.
Yeah.
It was a very gritty kind of
Also,
camera look.
Yeah, and the depth of field was real shallow throughout the whole film.
Super shallow.
Which I like. I'm a huge fan of
enjoy
wide
it.
open shots.
I'm never going to be the person that's like, everybody's,
it's
wide
not
open these days.
not fully in focus, and like
Yeah.
the lighting isn't perfect.
Yeah.
I like the
If anything, I would
little bit of
say
racking.
that served the story really well because it made it claustrophobic how open it was.
Yeah.
And for anybody that doesn't understand, like the lens being open makes the shot blurrier at the end of the day. Like the depth of field, what you're focused on, the things around that are a lot blurrier.
yeah.
And so because of that, you kind of really focus in on like Nicole Kidman's eyes.
Yeah, a
is
lot
what I
of
was
performance
noticing.
is accentuated by
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
They're on a lot of deep lenses too.
Yeah, it was a lot of tighter lenses. Really getting in on the actors' faces, which I loved. I thought
Yeah.
that was for that character story. I thought that was really good.
Who do you think this movie's for?
I think women are gonna like this movie. I think yeah.
Sign me up.
I think women and Michael are gonna really like this movie. No, I feel like women are the demographic here, for sure. But that's not to say I didn't relate to any of the characters or enjoy the story, because I really when we get into spoilers, we'll talk more about like the things that happened. But I did enjoy the full story. I have questions about the end that we can get into, but yeah, I think if you're a woman, you're gonna love it.
You definitely identify with Nicole Kidman's character the whole time. So anybody that wants to be in Nicole Kidman's shoes. No, I agree. I mean, I felt like, and maybe I'm just completely blind, but I felt like it was a pretty accessible movie. I definitely don't think it's something I would like.
Yeah,
you don't want to take your mom to the
not
movie.
A family.
You don't want
movie.
to talk to your mom about the movie.
Yeah,
you know. But I feel like it has some interesting things to say, and it's like it was overall kind of fun. Like it wasn't. There were shocking moments. I wouldn't say it goes like too crazy at any point. Anything that people haven't already seen before.
I mean,
film,
our view may be skewed based off of all of the things that we've seen in film.
True.
To some, I feel like behind us, I heard some like, I heard some like, what is she doing? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a kinky thing. Yeah.
She likes that.
She likes it. Yeah. So it's definitely not super accessible to everyone, but I do think if you're into spicy thriller novels, you're gonna love this movie.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and head into spoilers.
Spoiler time.
This is a spoiler warning. Consider yourself warned.
All right, we're going to talk about spoilers. So if you haven't seen Babygirl yet and you plan on doing so, I would pause the pod right now and go do so, and then come back and join us in this conversation. Max.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
Let's talk about this. Let's go in depth.
Very first scene of the film.
It's sexy.
Immediate sex.
Immediate sex. Yeah. It actually is
in the logo. The A24 logo.
Yeah.
And at first I was wondering, like, was that somebody in the theater moaning?
Because it's just moaning right away.
Yeah.
Moaning on a black screen.
Yeah.
Which I've noticed a lot of films are doing a lot of sound design early with a black screen, and then they cut to whatever is happening.
Yeah.
Nosferatu did that also.
Yeah.
Started with moaning also, because she was like, she was crying. She was super sad. Cry moaning. Yeah.
She was pretty lusty.
Yeah. I really liked the way they shot the sex scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were very tasteful. And
very intimate.
Very intimate. And that is what we open up with. We open up with a sex scene.
I don't want to jump the gun, but I do think this film has a really interesting bookend, because we start with her having a fake orgasm, right?
Yep.
And we end with her after everything that happened, and they're basically having sex with each other again.
Right.
But
yeah,
she sees Harris Dickinson with that dog.
Yep.
Like in her mind.
Yeah. I was going to bring this up. I didn't know if we wanted to jump to this right away.
I don't know. Maybe we should hold off.
We're here.
Or we can talk about
We're here. I was a little confused by it because I guess it's like accepting who you are and understanding your kink. Like, would she have, I wrote this down. I said, would she have figured out her sexual relationship with her husband without an affair? Because to me, that just means that she needed him to get off, and she still does. Yeah. It's not like she didn't really figure anything out. And maybe that's just my perspective. I could be totally wrong. But to me, I was like, okay, so she can get off now, but because she's thinking about that guy. Yeah. Not her husband. Yeah. So is that like, I don't know. I had mixed feelings on that.
Yeah. At first, my initial thought right when the movie ended was, that's how it is going to end. Yeah. But I was thinking about it more, and I think there is an emphasis throughout this movie about acceptance and humility, not being something that's weak, and there's this whole power dynamic throughout the film. And Nicole Kidman, she's a high-ranking CEO. She has a lot of power. And so in one of her, I don't know what those were, speeches or, videos.
Like talking head corporate videos.
Yeah, talking head corporate
PSAs
video.
Probably for the company.
She says something about, not being weak. And then she gets corrected by her assistant, and says, oh, no, weakness is actually, more acceptable now, Yeah. And so I was thinking about the ending, and I think both for her and for her husband, there's this humility that both of them have to face together, which I think the ending was, right? They're like both kind of laughing, or at least her husband was. I don't remember if she was.
I know. I mean, it just seemed like she was like, yeah, now she can get off thinking about that guy now. Yeah. But I could be completely missing the point.
Well, I also
on that specific character arc.
No, I mean, I think that was kind of the purposeful conclusion of the story, is accepting, kinks, and stuff like that. And I think just being honest with your partners.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest thing.
That was good. Because that was mirrored with the daughter's relationship.
Exactly.
With her girlfriend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very evident then, that maybe, it's like an age thing. Younger generations are able to kind of accept, I don't know, we have different, societal conventions for dating and stuff.
Yeah.
And like our parents.
True.
Did,
And that was awesome to see that. Like when he says something, how he's seeing the other assistant, Esme. I think it's Esme.
Oh yeah,
Esme.
Played by Sophia Wilde.
Yeah, Esme. He's like, I'm seeing Esme also.
Yeah.
And Nicole Kidman's like, what does that mean? Like, she can't comprehend sleeping around, or
even though that's exactly what she's
right.
doing.
Yeah. And that was also and then that was reflected with the daughter conversation, where she was like, I was just having fun with the neighbor. I still love Mary.
Yeah.
So there was some like confusion there, but as you find out later on, she was like, oh, Mary understood. Because I think Mary probably got upset with her daughter.
Yeah.
And that she was kissing some other girl, Yeah. And then they worked it out too. So it was kind of interesting how they paralleled a little bit.
Yeah. I thought, I mean, the core theme of this movie was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I still feel like I need even more time to really like digest it and think about it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting because, like you said earlier, like the story is pretty plain and simple.
Yes.
But the dynamics that are happening are so complex emotionally.
Yeah.
That there's a lot to grasp there.
Yeah. There's a ton emotionally to grasp. That whole scene where her assistant Esme comes to her and basically blackmails her into getting a higher position.
Yeah.
Or taking, I don't, she started doing the PSAs. Like, did she become maybe she just got a big promotion.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Which I think was coming regardless.
Right.
Because, Nicole Kidman's character was very, like, she had praises for her, you know, when talking to other people. That's what I thought was super interesting with, was it Esme you said?
Yeah, Esme.
Her assistant.
Yeah.
Her character, it's like, at the core, she has this belief, which is, women need more opportunities to be in power.
Yeah.
And I think she would have gotten that regardless,
right.
Being able to talk about it, whatever her position was, that she eventually got. But she did blackmail Nicole Kidman into it.
Yeah.
And in a very interesting way, which you know, it's like she has a pure intention, which is to get more women into power.
Right.
But she did it in a pretty slimy way. And it makes you kind of backtrack a little bit and wonder what her intentions are for that, you know?
Yeah.
Because she's also allowing Nicole Kidman, a woman in power, to behave inappropriately.
Right.
Which I thought
She
was
dangled
really
the carrot.
interesting. Yeah.
And this is where my theory comes in.
Okay.
I have a theory.
You have a theory.
It may be obvious, and this is just like a plot point that I should have gotten the first time I watched it. But I think that Esme hired Samuel. Because remember when, so she knew all along at the end, right? She's like, I know what's happening with you and Samuel. But remember in the beginning of the movie where Samuel gets an email about the program that she's like, how did you get my email? I'm not a part of that program.
Oh.
I think Esme sent the emails to Samuel and linked them. And then he's just gone at the end of the movie. He's like, oh, he's in Tokyo now working for Mitsubishi or whatever.
I think you're right.
I think she set it up from the very beginning.
I didn't even pick up on that. No,
Yeah.
dude, you're so right.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't aware that she was in the program.
Right.
And then she confronts her and is like, hey, like, who added me?
Right.
And she literally,
she does say,
Yeah.
she's like, I think, oh, you got put into that because you need to show that you're an approachable boss or a CEO. I think she set up the
Interesting.
whole thing to get herself a promotion.
whoa,
Yeah.
that's
my theory.
That's a very interesting.
But it
theory.
seems to line up with everything. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's probably
I would
makes
say
sense.
so. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of grasp. At its core, though, I just really like the characters.
Yes.
I felt like every single character felt very intentional. No one was a throwaway character, except for maybe her like youngest daughter. It's like a dancer. But whatever, you know. Ideal family bullshit. Antonio Banderas was awesome
Yes.
in this movie.
Yes.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. This is the next thing I wanted to talk about.
That guy needs an Oscar.
He was so good in this. He was awesome at being. So I feel like I related to him the most.
Yeah.
Just because I'm more traditional. I'm not like I understand.
Yeah.
But like I'm more traditional like marriage kind of person.
Totally.
And like what do you even do in that situation? And I thought it was awesome. The climax of all three characters coming together in the like pool house is so awesome.
Dude, when she brings out the 2 ice packs.
Yeah, dude.
I was like so funny.
I was like, this is awesome. It's so that was my favorite part of the film.
Yeah.
Because it was a final like tension breaker, or like everyone knew, big weight off the chest or whatever, and now it's like, what's gonna happen? Now everyone knows what's been happening. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
And I thought they handled it in a way that felt very real. Like he would be angry and he would want to, kick his ass, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just not the case, for an older guy like that.
Yeah.
And then being, just, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
I think, for me, that was almost where I was. Now, don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed the movie. And I do think I understand the end of the movie. The way my expectation for the movie is there's all this crazy tense shit happening. I thought it was going to blow up slightly more.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's more of an audience expectation thing than, anything to like criticize about the story. But I do think some people will be let down by that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's just a real reaction.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't even say it's over dramatized. Like it doesn't, it felt normal.
Yeah.
That felt like how a man would react to hearing that and seeing the other guy.
Oh, totally.
Like it just felt real, which was awesome.
Yeah, and then the fight felt pretty real.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Just messy and
Yeah.
like nothing's really happening.
I think for me it was like after that, the resolve.
Yeah.
After that fight, he just leaves,
Mm-hmm.
and then it seems like they're working on things, you
Yeah.
know, which I think is a very hopeful ending. And
Yeah.
I think that's the most interesting thing to take away from the movie is like thinking about, dynamics in relationship.
Mhm.
Obviously, people now are a lot more open about their sexuality, things that they want, you
Yeah.
know, which I think is great.
Yeah.
And I do think at the core of the movie, and maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but I think that's what it's trying to say is the more open we can be with each other and more like communicative
Mhm.
about what we like, things
Yeah.
like that, the better the world will be because we'll understand each other,
Definitely.
It was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked all that. I thought that's probably the direction they were going.
For me, the thing I enjoyed the most about the movie, though, was how tense some of the scenes were. Like
Yeah.
when he would just show up at like family gatherings
Yeah. That
or
was
something.
nuts. Yeah.
Seeing him interact with her kids or her husband,
Yeah.
while the scene before that, they're in a hotel room and
Yeah.
she's pretending she's a dog.
Yeah. 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 Gnarly. Yeah.
Oh my
Also,
God.
they did a crossfade from Nicole Kidman like being a dog,
Mhm.
crossfaded to her daughter dancing,
Yeah.
and that was such like a hard, impactful edit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the editing on that is like great imagery and really makes you feel like she's not doing the right thing. You're like, she has a
Yeah.
family, she has a daughter.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you
but
brought
she's
that
giving
up.
into the desire.
Because that was one of the things that I noted, especially with that montage.
Yeah.
is that was very effective editing with
Yeah.
the juxtaposition of her family and then the shit she's doing with
Yeah.
Harris Dickinson.
Yeah.
Absolutely foul. Well, okay, not judgmental, but
Yeah.
it's gnarly.
It's
stuff.
wild. It's wild. Yeah.
It's very wild.
Yeah.
I also noted that the next tattoo I want to get is a cherub with a ski mask and AK-47.
Yeah. The tattoo is
Dude,
good.
Yeah,
That was
it's
fun.
pretty cool tattoos. Yeah, I think overall, I don't know. It was a very interesting film. I technically thought it was very sound.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the characters. I think the ending, while it does like leave you enough room to kind of grasp some things conceptually, it did fall just a little flat with the rest of the story, how
Yeah.
tense it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay, but it is kind of, I don't know,
Yeah.
falls flat a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's fair assessment. I liked all the character moments, and I did feel like the ending was very grounded. Little confused by the ending.
Yeah.
Not like I get it, she's working on herself maybe.
Yeah.
But I think the honesty thing that you were saying, it's like where it's probably looking towards. And women in power. That was like a big message in the
Yeah. I mean, because I do feel like currently there's a lot of divorce.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cheating in our society. But maybe if people were more open about what they wanted,
open, honest.
things would be different, which I feel like that's kind of what the ending was going for. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about one more scene.
Okay.
My second favorite scene probably was the bar scene. She I can't remember exactly what happened right before, but I think she was like she was super confused, or there was like some kind of
She was like begging him.
Yeah, like or no, he left. He like left the company, and then
or no, he said that he was going to transfer.
Yeah. And then she was at the house with Jacob, her husband,
Mm-hmm.
and Jacob tried to like get it on or something, and she was just like, "I've never had an orgasm with you."
Yeah.
I think that's that scene.
Heavy.
She leaves. She's like in the rain. She goes into the bar, and then like he is a bartender there. He asked the friend to just ask her to leave, basically, and just won't talk to her at all.
Yeah.
And I loved that scene. I thought that was so awesome.
Yeah, it was
Like-
very silent,
Yeah.
but so tense.
And like confusing, you know, and
Yeah.
like, and he was just not giving her the light of day, which I thought was cool.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
like if you really strip the film down to its core, the power dynamic
Yeah.
is insane in this film.
Yes.
The fact that like, I mean, you feel it from the beginning. She is like a high-ranking CEO.
Yeah.
She feels very powerful.
Definitely.
And as soon as he comes in swinging.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah,
Relentless.
definitely all set up by Esme. She planned the whole thing. I think. I think that's what happened.
You know,
I think she planned the whole thing.
I think you might be right.
And
I
he-
definitely want to watch it again.
I think he's a vigilante. he
he just saves people's
he goes
marriages.
company to company, sleeping with people's wives,
CEOs.
CEOs,
Yeah.
sleeping with CEOs, to just teach them a good lesson about kinks.
Be good girls. Baby girls.
Yeah, be a baby girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting scene. The other thing I wanted to bring up is this is now the second erotic thriller that Nicole Kidman has been in that is technically a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
We have Eyes Wide Shut and now this movie.
Which I still need to watch.
You haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut?
I have not.
Dude.
I know we gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I know.
I can't believe you haven't seen it. Anyways.
I know. I'm sorry.
Very fun film.
Yeah, awesome. I recommend it.
I had a
women.
blast seeing it with you on Christmas.
Yeah, we saw it very late at night.
That was
Just the two
a
of us.
very interesting vibe.
Yeah,
Lady behind us sucked, worst person in the world.
yeah.
But and one last thing I'll say is after enduring all of the sounds that we heard from that lady behind us, the fact that I was still able to be invested in the film and enjoy it by the end of it, I was like, okay, this is a really strong film.
I agree with that.
So yeah, check out Babygirl if you haven't already. Thank you guys for joining us today. You can follow us on Instagram at Boys Meet Film, or you can also follow me on Letterboxd at mschnee, MSCHNEE. And next week, we are going to be talking about Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic with the CGI monkey. So stay tuned and join us next Wednesday. Anything you want to bring up, Max?
Subscribe.